Full speed ahead, FSA, wait, no, Mukilteo, Washington. Yeah. I'm here with Ron Correa. Ron, how's it going?
Great.
How many Interbikes is this for you?
I think I'm going on 4 or 5, depending on how much I remember.
Yeah? Yes, I've heard a little bit about that from Interbike. Yeah. Having a good time this year?
Yeah, it's good. It's great. Cyclocross race last night was awesome. That was, it's amazing how fast those guys are hauling around the track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I fully agree. Tell me a little bit about what FSA hopes to accomplish at Interbike. We're talking to different size companies and everybody's got sort of a different angle on their objectives.
For us, we're here to connect with the consumer, but mostly the dealer. Interbike is where the dealer, as we say, your local bike shop, comes to, they send their employees to come look at the different product, what's new, also touch base with the manufacturer. If they have issues, they have concerns, questions, they can come and deal with us one-on-one instead of being online or on phone, which is kind of impersonal. So for us here, we really get to connect with the customer, we get to hear what sort of feedback we're getting from product, and and for us that's like the biggest base and reason that we basically are coming out here.
That's kind of interesting. So I'm sure you get feedback throughout the year from various sources, but you're saying that actually getting to hang out with people is maybe a better chance to do that?
Yeah, we deal with a lot of these people on the phone every day. Your local bike shops probably called us for some technical support or something like that. These are the same people that are coming to this show and touching base with us. To really just, put a face to the name, you give them a card, it's tangent, it's personal. And so for us, that's really how we started with our growing of our company, and I think that's how it's going to continue.
Do you do a lot of sort of product education for mechanics?
Actually, we do. This last year, we were part of the Park Tool Summit.
Okay.
We sent 3 of our techs out to educate your local shop mechanic on anything from bottom bracket compatibility, installations, also carbon, you name it.
Yeah.
They went over the gamut. This coming year, we're also part of the Park Tool Summit, where we go and we educate mechanics on similar type things. There's so many developments that have been happening in bottom bracket, also with our new Patterson transmission, internal transmissions, hubs. You name it, we try to touch base on it.
Okay. And speaking of bottom brackets, anybody who's at the show can tell you there are several walls of FSA products, from the Vision line to K-Force and others. But let's maybe focus in on a little bit of what's new in the FSA bottom bracket world. I'm going to swing over here. Maybe you can tell me what's going on.
Bottom brackets, technically as a whole, there's been a lot of development in the past couple of years. SRAM introduced the PressFit 30. Cannondale was an early adopter of the BB30. And then, of course, we have the good old English bottom bracket standard. But the issue with all these different standards is not a lot of compatibility with cranks throughout the line. And it poses a problem for the good old Joes like us who go from the steel, have a high-end carbon frame, to want to take that crank and put it to an old steel frame. It just becomes really difficult over time. We looked at this as a problem. We also worked with some of our closest bike manufacturers, and this year what we came out with was our 386 Evo crank. Basically what this crank is taking our Mega Exo platform, which fits in a 68. Actually, this platform fits in a range of bottom bracket configurations. It can fit anything from BB30, as you see here, PressFit 30, and then for the guy that wants an extreme upgrade to his good old steel or titanium bike, it fits an English threaded bottom bracket as well. And what this crank is it's basically removing, we don't really remove, but we're upgrading the spindle to a 30 mil spindle like you get in a BB30 crank, except now the spindle's wider, it fits in a whole range of bottom bracket configurations. We're offering a whole range of spacers and bottom brackets to offer to go with this crank. So, it's lighter, it's stiffer, it's, for us, this is what is going to be moving forward.
What's the reaction been like at the show here to it?
People are liking this crank. People really are liking this crank. You know, the issue right now, especially with OEs as well, is they want to try to spec a crank that's going to work throughout the whole line. Sometimes their lower lines using the BB30 or Pressfit 30, but then they have other parts of their line that are using a threaded bottom bracket shell. This crank can work for all of them. So that's really the beauty about it.
Yeah. All right. Ron Correa, full speed ahead, FSA. Thanks very much.
Yeah.